Hey guys, Kevin with Screamin' Chicken here. Today we're going to show you how to do a double DIN radio install in an 82 through 92 Camaro using our double DIN bezel and bracket system, and then we also have a reverse double DIN and bracket system that lets you move your climate control systems down to the bottom if you prefer that way. This is Kenwood's brand new radio that just came out this week. It's got a very special feature that we'll show you when we do the reverse double DIN install that makes it perfect for that. Okay, as you can see here with the double DIN, we've got the bezel removed, and if you try to slide it in with your climate control in the factory position, it won't fit. It will hit right here on the bracket. So the first thing we have to do is relocate that up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and remove, there's 3 screws that hold in your actual climate control system, and then 4 screws that hold in the bracket. You'll have some vacuum plugs and stuff and an electric plug on the back of your climate control system. Have a screw here and 2 screws here that you're going to remove, and then in your car you won't be able to remove this. You'll just have to slide it forward and kind of sit it right here because you have vacuum lines behind it that you won't be able to get to. But because we're working here on the table, we can pull it out of the way so that you can get a better view of what you need to do next. Next, there are 2 screws that are very easy to see right here on the front. And then this one. And after you get these 2 screws out, the frame here will flex a little bit and you'll be able to get to the upper screws to remove those. And once you've got it loose, you should be able to wiggle it a little bit and slide it down and out. And then our relocation brackets, you notice one of them has a curve to it that will go on the passenger side. Then using those same screws, you'll remount these brackets to relocate the climate controls. Okay, you can see here I've got the climate control back in place. We supply new screws for you. I'm gonna go ahead and get those tightened down. You want to make sure the climate control is even as well. All right, and from there you want to start getting your radio set up. Okay, next you want to take the brackets and kind of center them up, and then we recommend starting out with putting the front face of the bracket even with the frame and where the plastic face of the stereo come together as a starting point. And then you're going to take the supplied screws with your stereo and go ahead and get them kind of finger-ish tight because you may need to adjust a little bit. That way you can move your stereo around once you put it inside the console. And then once you get it to your liking, you can pull it back out and tighten them down. It's a little bit too tight, back off just a little bit where I can still move it, but it holds in place. Top one's good. Yeah, right there's good. I can still move it around a little bit, but it'll kind of hold itself in place so that when I adjust it and go to take it back out, all I'm doing is getting it, tightening them down where they need to be. And I can still move that one around a little bit. Then you'll take your stereo, slide everything in, You can see these are slotted so that you can adjust it for slight differences in the stereos and very minute slight differences in the bezels and how the stereo fits in them, and making sure you're evened up. And then we'll take some screws and mount it and get it sitting where we'd like it. Okay, we've got the radio positioned how we like it. We tightened all the screws down on the brackets to make sure it stays in place. And now we'll take our bezel and put the bottom in first, and then just lean it in. And then you'll take your original bezel screws and just bolt it back in. Okay, now that we've got our bezel bolted back in, make sure you'll turn the key on, make sure everything powers up, you get sound through all your speakers. We're showing you this on the table so that we can video better, but at the end we'll show you an in-car with the stereo working and see how the radio software lights up and what you get with the radio. Okay, now we're going to show you how to do the reverse double din. And the first thing you'll need to do is remove your factory bezel, and then we're going to relocate the climate control down to the bottom. You're going to take the screws that hold the bracket that the climate control bolts into out, and the whole bracket is going to slide down to the bottom. Okay, and the whole thing will just slide down. And then it'll just bolt right back in down to these lower 4 clips. All right, at this point, if you set your bezel into place, you'll notice that your climate control angle is off and doesn't look right. So we include these spacers to correct the angle. And if you purchase from somewhere else, you want to make sure that you get these, otherwise you will have this problem as well. Pull the bezel back off, and remove the screws that hold the climate control in. Grab this one, okay, and then on the driver's side you'll have the solid one, and you'll need to use a longer screw on the top. Here's your other screw for the bottom. If you want to use your spacer with the cutout on the passenger side, and you may have to kind of stick your screwdriver in there and adjust it so that it lines up. You don't want to tighten these all the way down until you get them both in. And now when you set your bezel into place, you'll see that the angle is correct so that the top is up against the bezel as well. Okay, just like on the standard, you want to get your brackets mounted and leave them a little loose. This is about how we set them up so that the radio sits in the bezel correctly. There'll be a little bit of play in each and every car, so this is just a good starting point. And then we'll take, so slide your wires in, and then you're gonna have to lift up this part of the plastic frame to get the brackets in there. And then you're gonna want to put in your top 2 screws first. Adjust it over the other way so you can get to the other one. Okay, once you get the top two in, go ahead and push the center down. As you can see, this install is a lot more involved than the standard install. You want to go ahead and set your bezel up in place and make sure you're vertically lined up, and that's actually pretty good. I got lucky there. And then from there, you'll go ahead and put in your bottom two screws. And once you get those tight, you'll reinstall your bezel and put your factory screws back in, and you're all set. Okay, as you can see, here's the mounting brackets for the center console. We've got it out on the table for filming to be able to show you guys easier. With the reverse double DIN, sometimes their orientation between the console and the dash is a little bit different, and sometimes this won't fit without having to either modify the bracing inside the car and your dash, or with this new stereo, you can take this back plate off and as you can see, this is all open in here. You can trim these to fit so that you don't have to cut on your car, or if you really need to, you can actually remove these two brackets as well. We would recommend trimming them so that you get a more secure mount, but you don't have to. As you can see, the radio is just this lower section itself, and this is just a filler panel that can be removed. Okay guys, so we're here in the car now. One little thing on 90 through 92 cars, you'll have to remove this lower portion on the driver's side of the dash. It's got 4 bolts, one here, and then one on each side of the bottom. And you can just set it up here out of your way. And then the bezel just comes out after you undo the 3 screws that hold it in place. And as you can see, I had to play with the mounts just a little bit to get it sitting just about flush with the bezel, but looks great.
All right, y'all, that is it for today. Leave any questions or comments below, and y'all have a great day.